Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Style Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dream Style Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Welcome to Legacy Boxing Showcase, sponsored by Legacy Boxing Promotions, Pettis Collision, Ed Nunez, along with Austin Colleen, and in studio, New Mexico welterweight champ Josh Pitbull Torres. Austin, it's been a couple of weeks. We had our state basketball tournament, and we haven't been on in a while, but you and I talked about that, and the champ was very gracious enough to come on short notice. So welcome back, and again this Saturday night, Manuel Lujan at the fairgrounds. Legacy Boxing Promotions. We're going to go over the card and all the fights, and there's some good ones. You mentioned there's going to be some very good contests. So I know you're looking forward to that. You're going to be working with Adam Deal again, as Adam Deal is going to do the play-by-play, and you're going to do the boxing color commentary, which you do so colorfully, always. You always got a quip or two, and sometimes I have to listen, I have to roll back. I'm like, what did he just say, man? And then I'll get it, like about 5 seconds later. So, Austin, what do you think?
Well, I think
Saturday?
The fight card is loaded. It's one of the best fight cards in years. A lot of times you'll have a great main event, but a lot of the undercard, you can pretty well, this guy's going to win, this guy's going to, you can't do that. If, matter of fact, they could even have a contest. Who could pick the winners in every one of the fights? I don't think there'd be very many people that would do that.
Okay, well, Legacy Boxing Promotions, again, they at least every 3 months. This has been the longest they've been off, I think, since January.
Right.
So they had one in August, January, March. Champ, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
So much
it's always a pleasure
us,
to be here.
On short notice, you're going to be taking on Francisco El Zorro Castro. your record 19-6-1 with 11 KOs. El Zorro 28-9-0, and he's got 23 KOs. And I asked you as you came on the show, a veteran, heavy hitter, got in with Earl Spence, did lose, took the fight on short notice, did lose, of course. We'll talk about Spence and Mikey Garcia here in a bit. But as far as what you know about El Zorro, tell us what you know a little bit.
Like you mentioned, I know that he's a veteran. He obviously hits hard when you have 23 knockouts out of 28 wins. So he's coming in tough, and he's had plenty of time to train. As you mentioned, against Spence, he only had, a week and a half to train, and some of his other losses have been that way also, where he didn't have, a fair amount to train and prepare for these guys. So we gave him a good amount of time to prepare, so we know he's coming, to win, coming to fight, and he's not coming to lay down. So we've done the same. We're ready to put on a great show Saturday night.
And you've done that the last couple of fights. I mean, the fight of the year against last summer, that was one heck of a fight against Christian Cabral. I mean, wow. It was a 7th round, TKO, 1 second left in the round. And, 505 on their feet, man. 505 on their feet.
Right.
I was one of them. That was an incredibly exciting fight. I don't think there hasn't been a time that you don't give, your fans, and again, you're a leader in the community besides just boxing. Boxing's important to you, I know that. But I also know it's not your whole life. I know that as well. By the way you carry yourself, you know that, you're a good example out there in the ring and outside the ring. And that's important. I know that's important to you.
Definitely.
Austin.
Well, I notice your opponent has had opportunities that you haven't had. So what do you have to do to get, he's been in with some pretty good names. So what do you have to do to get that opportunity?
I just have to keep winning and keep winning impressively. We're coming off of 4 straight knockouts. Hopefully this will be my 5th. So I think after a certain amount of time, they're going to have to start taking notice, and hopefully we'll get a big fight in the near future.
You had that great opportunity in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it was canceled. Nothing to do with you. And that was, 24 hours before the fight? I would have loved to have seen that fight take place.
And just so the viewers know, who is that going to be against, Josh?
That was going to be against Zab Judah, former world champion, future Hall of Famer. It is a bummer that fight didn't happen. Of course, the whole city came out. We were all out there in Vegas ready to, put a mark in the game. But I feel like, it's on God's timing. So we're being patient. We know that he has bigger plans ahead for us. And I'm just putting in the work in the meantime to stay on track.
And how old are you now, Josh?
29.
Well, Brady's going at 41, so you still got some years left.
I do, and I feel good at 29. I don't feel young, I don't feel old, I still feel hungry, I still feel the fire inside of me. I feel like I haven't even peaked yet, so, I'm just excited to see what the future holds.
You said a lot of times that athletically you peak when you're 26, as far as your body and things like that, and you're 29, and you feel like you still, and I think what you mentioned is important, the passion and the hunger and the drive, because you have to have that. I remember Gil Clancy saying that about Roberto Duran when he fought Iran Barkley. Duran was 37, a blown-up lightweight going in against a legitimate middleweight in 1989. And Gil Clancy said, hey, he looks good, but you never know until when the boxer climbs up in the ring, you never know.
Right.
You never know, and because you could feel and again, your last performances have been awesome. You feel you're on a roll, man. You're on a roll, and I know you want to keep that mojo going.
I do, and that's one of the things that, is important to me, is putting on great fights for these fans who deserve it. They pay their hard-earned money to come out and support us. I've, had a blessed career so far, and I just want to keep putting my name and hopefully be a future Hall of Famer.
I'll tell you what, you're certainly on your way to that. And one thing that's important to me, I've been around a lot of athletes, man, basketball, a lot of them. To me, I think, you're on your way to being a Hall of Fame person. To me, that's the most important mark, man, to me. I mean, to me, athletics is important, right? It is. But when you see the person outside, when we got to know you, man, you're so blessed that you've been, we've been hosting together almost a year now.
Yeah.
And I think Josh has been our guest 6 or 7 times. He always gets something out of you, always. And sometimes it's not just about boxing, though.
Right.
And that's important. I think sometimes people need to remember that. There's more to life than I thought basketball was going pro, right? And it didn't work out. But still, I'm still involved with the game. I've been lucky to do things with the game. And you're still right in the middle of it, right in the middle of a good run, man. So I feel that energy when you come in. And I ask you ready to roll? And you say you are.
Thank you. And I've said that since early in my career that I wanted to do more than box. I wanted to do more than fight. I wanted to inspire people along the way, send a positive message, and I feel like I've done that. I feel like, in life we go through different seasons, and like you mentioned, sometimes it's boxing, sometimes it's other sports, and we just have to use these platforms to promote positivity, and that's what I'm all about.
How important is that? I mean, Austin, go ahead. But I'll tell you, just hearing that, and you said this after one of your fights last summer at the casino, was a prayer for somebody else. And, you use the platform there in front of a full house, right? And, the fans, you got Capital's fans over here, you got your fans over here. And the message was awesome. I told my wife about it. It almost brought me to tears. And I'm not just saying this because you're here, man. I mean, those messages, to me, when you use a platform like that, not just for you, but for other people, that's what's important. And sometimes people lose sight of that, right? They do.
They do.
And you're still young, so like I said, whoever raised you did an awesome job, because you're still seeing outside of Josh Torres' box. It's just not about you.
Thank you
Austin.
very much. Thank you.
You mentioned something earlier about taking care of your body. I didn't know him well, but I met Paul Pender, the former middleweight champ, and he literally, between fights, would be smoking cigarettes. And back in the old days, although we had some tremendous fighters, they would literally do nothing between fights. Rocky Marciano would blow up to 230. Jake LaMotta had a tremendous weight problem. And I don't think that was really helping their bodies to go through these torturous diets to lose 30 and 40 pounds. So you look in great shape between fights. You look like you could get in the ring. So what do you do between fights? Because you obviously are never sloppy looking.
Well, I think one of the main things that benefits me is I don't smoke, I don't drink. When I do go out, it's with friends and family to go have dinner. The wildest we'll get is maybe the main event, go play some video games. So I feel like I don't put my body through a lot. I have done that in the past when I was younger. I went through my party stages. I got it out the way early. And I feel like now that I've pulled away from that, I feel 100% better. I don't miss it one bit. My body feels better. I'm healthier. So I've definitely benefited from that. I think that's what has a lot to do with it.
So you don't have an entourage like some of these fighters today?
I do, but it's all family. It's all loved ones.
Yeah. So it's cupcakes for somebody's birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important too, because again, some of these entourages that we've seen, right? Tyson, I'll give you, Tyson is a prime example. He has good management with Jimmy Jacobs, Customato, Kevin Rooney, his trainer, right? They're all real good. I mean, people talk about the offensive juggernaut he was, but let's remember his defense. Incredible defense, right? Head movement. Ask Carl the Truth Williams, leaves a lazy jab out there. He almost knocked Carl Williams out of the ring.
Right.
And then when King comes in, he ruins everything. Because all he's got around him is a bunch of yes guys. Yes, champ. Yes, champ. They don't even have an end swell in the corner when he loses to Buster Douglas. No end swell. I mean, this is a champ.
Right.
So I think that's important as well, because, sometimes people, when they see you right away, hey, I want to be part of some hey, right? And you got to be able to make, no, you're right. My circle is closed here.
Absolutely.
So that's important too.
Yeah, you definitely have to be cautious and careful with the company you keep, because it just takes one bad seed to ruin, a good batch.
Mentioned Tyson, and you could throw Jake LaMotta in this too. They both had short arms, but they both had beautiful left jabs. Short fighters, when they get inside, a lot of times instead of throwing hooks and crosses, they'll use their jab, because now they're in range, forcing their opponents to reach in and just try to grab them because they're getting beat up. So Tyson, he didn't even use his jab anymore when he got hooked up with Don King.
God, that's so, to think about what he's saying too. And if you think about it, to his short arm comment, right? Now, Ali, when he fought Frazier, would pepper him with that jab, right? And then when Frazier hit him with that hook, oh my God, devastating left hook, right? Mm-hmm. And then Ali would grab, and then grab him behind the head. And so Joe would expend a lot of energy trying to get out of that. And a lot of referees wouldn't break them. So that's a good point about the short arm fighters. I never even thought about that. It's a good point.
In the second fight with Frazier Ali, it was disgraceful. Tony Perez, the referee, he just let the entire fight. He never warned Ali once. He kept pulling Frazier's head down, because Ali was a strong man.
Boy, he was. Yeah. So everybody has different strategies. Have you thought, about what your strat. Now, again, without revealing, we don't want you to, you wouldn't do that against. Have you seen a lot of film with El Zorro? Have you seen a lot of film of him?
I haven't seen a lot, but I've seen enough to know what to expect. And I plan on coming in and using my youth, my explosiveness, my hunger, my strength to dictate the pace and take over the fight from the get-go. Let him know that he made a mistake coming down to Albuquerque.
Okay, so it's not like a welcoming committee here, man.
Definitely not. We're going to welcome him with some hooks and
Some
straight
leather.
rights. That's
Straight
right.
leather.
That's right.
Instead of balloons, it's gonna be leather.
Yeah.
Watching him on Facebook, I noticed, in fact, even with Spence, he's very aggressive. He doesn't pull back, and he's definitely trying to win. He's winging some shots with bad intentions. So it should be a pretty exciting fight. I don't think you're gonna have to look for him.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight for as long as it lasts. I plan on going out there and making a big statement.
Well, based on the Spence fight, it looks like he takes a decent punch. Because although Spence stopped him, he never put him off his feet.
Oh, we got TKO for Spence?
Yeah. Referee jumped in. Although California has some new rule that you can be standing up and be knocked out. I don't know.
Really?
I think that England, they have a thing, some kind of a crazy way of stopping fights too. If he's not it's not that they're
Man, things have
competitive.
changed
Just keep it simple.
as far as rules and stoppages
Right.
of fights. And, think about it, you're young. But heck, they used to go 15 back in the day. And, Ray Mancini killed Duke Who Kim in the ring, and they started cutting them to 12. And so there's been so many rule changes as far as boxing events go. We'll be back to Legacy Boxing Showcase after these messages.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every Proview Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProviewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or DreamstyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, #life change will occur.
Welcome back to Legacy Boxing Showcase, sponsored by Legacy Boxing Promotion, Pettis Collision, Ed Nunez, along with Austin Colleen, and New Mexico welterweight champ Josh Pitbull Torres. He'll fight this Saturday evening, Manuel Lujan Building at the Fairgrounds, March 30th, against Francisco El Zorro Castro. Austin, you got the card right in front of you. Let's talk about it with the champ here.
Okay, Josh, I know you don't want to predict anything because a lot of these fighters are friends of yours, but maybe you could play both sides of the card. What fighter A has to do to win fighter B, and take anything you want. The semifinal looks pretty, well, obviously that's a great.
Kind of go over the names, Austin, so the viewers.
Willie Villanueva against Escobar, and you're very familiar with both fighters. You've spent a lot of time in the gym with them both, and that's somebody's going to lose on that fight.
Right. I think it's a very competitive fight, 50-50. Whoever shows up is definitely going to be the winner. It's going to be a very close fight, interesting. I think Willie has to use his jab, maybe box and move. And I would like to see Matthew be a little more aggressive in this fight than he has been in his past couple fights. And I think if he does that, he can be successful.
I noticed Willie's comeback. It had been 5 years since he was in the ring. He really didn't show any rust. I was surprised that he seemed to be pretty sharp in that fight.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised because I had spent some time with him in the ring sparring before that. And I told him, you still got it. He looked sharp, he felt strong, so I'm excited for this fight. It's gonna be a great card.
And then Escobar, why did he have so much inactivity in his career? Because he's over 30 and he's only had, and they both started in 2006, I believe. So Escobar, he keeps stepping out of the ring for years and then makes comebacks. And Willie just took time off, period.
Yeah, sometimes, life happens and things happen outside the ring that might slow us down a little bit. But the fact of the matter is they're back. They're both hungry. They both look in great shape. And I think it's going to be a great fight.
Well, they both have something in common with you. They seem to be great fathers, and that's a big emphasis in both their lives. So maybe you're starting a trend here.
I sure hope so. Like I said, I want to inspire. That's it.
Great trend to start. Keep going, Austin, on the card.
Then we have this fight amazes me. Joe Gomez against Huero Sanchez. I have my own opinions on that. I certainly would think Joe Gomez is the favorite in that fight.
It's another one of those close competitive fights. I feel like both have their advantages in different ways. Joe Gomez has the experience. I feel like he needs to use veteran tactics to be successful. Huero needs to use his youth, his hungriness to push the pace of the fight. I think if he does that early, then he'll have some success. But man, what a great job Legacy Promotions did on putting this card together, because the co-main event and the semi-co-main event, if you will, are worthy of main event fights on their own. So the people are definitely going to get their money's worth this weekend.
I know you have to pay attention to your own fight, but those two fights, it'd almost be like you're in the dressing room trying to peek out the door to see what's taking place.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching.
But how do you do that and still have to stay focused on your own fight?
Very carefully.
Does that excitement from the crowd, though, kind of, you hear something that, does it kind of get you in a way? You're ready anyway. You're warming up, you're getting taped, you're getting a little bit of a sweat. So I'm sure that kind of gets you when you hear the crowd. It kind of amps you up even a little more, I'm sure.
Oh, it's motivating and it's electrifying. It reminds you why you're there, and it reminds you of all the hard work you put in, and it just excites you to go out there and put on an even better show.
Austin, a couple more fights.
Yeah, Angel Perez has had a great compliment from David Finger, who writes for the World Boxing Organization. Unfortunately, I don't know much about his opponent, but he feels that Jason Sanchez and Angel Baby are real prospects. Obviously, Jason's ahead of Angel in experience at this time, but he thinks they're both live prospects, and he's pretty excited about Angel Baby. He fought down in Texas his last fight, and Amarillo, and according to David, he won the audience over. When he walked up the aisle, there was, no one knew who he was, but at the end of the fight, they were all cheering him, and it looks like he's stepped up. I don't know if you know anything about his opponent.
I don't know anything about his opponent, but it looks like he has a lot of fights. He's obviously a veteran. So Angel Baby just needs to fight smart, dictate the pace. Same thing, like I said about Weddle. He has to use his youth and his hungriness to be successful. I've spent a few rounds in with Angel Baby. He's quick. He's in and out. So if he does that, I think he'll be successful on Saturday night.
We've got about 3 more we got to get to here. We've got about 2 minutes. Amy La Bocosita versus Danielle Saldana. Have you seen those 2 female fighters at all?
I've seen Amy Salinas fight. She's from down in Las Cruces. She's tough as nails. She always puts on a great fight. So I'm excited for that. And of course, you can't go wrong with female fights. They're always exciting. They go in there and put on a great show for the fans.
Well, right now, I'd say, of course, there's only been 1 fight card in the state this year so far, but she's the fight of the year, and I've seen her opponent.
Go ahead. We got about a minute left.
Well, I can tone it down.
Okay, you know what? I want to ask one question. I'll leave the last question for Austin. What would a victory against Francisco El Zorro Castro mean to Josh? And by the way, the belt's not on the line for this fight, but what would it mean to Josh Pitbull Torres in his career?
Not just a win, but a big win. And I think it's going to set me up for bigger and better fights. I feel like I'm right there knocking at the door. And as I mentioned earlier, as long as I keep winning and winning impressively, they're gonna have to take notice sooner or later. So we're just being patient and waiting on that big call.
Waiting for a big win. Okay, Austin, one last shot, and we'll call it a day.
What about a 3rd fight with Jose Marufo?
Yeah, it's a possibility. He just came off of a win, like you mentioned earlier, against an undefeated fighter, so he's tough. And I think that would be worthy of a rematch, and hopefully here in my home state. I think it'd be a great fight for the fans.
Josh Pitbull Torres, thanks so much for being our guest. For producer Josh Brown, Austin Colleen, the Legacy Boxing Promotion fight card this Saturday. Still plenty of tickets available. Manuel Lujan building. The first bell, I believe, is at 5:30, I believe.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay, first bell at 6 o'clock. I'm sure gates open probably about 5 o'clock. Again, champ, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode of Legacy Boxing Promotions.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales. Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's off Academy and in Nob Hill.